I was watching the British news this morning and I wasn't very happy with the way they reported what is happening today here in Madrid, Spain, which is localized lockdowns. They said that people have been told to stay home, and they showed a video of a protest. And the protest that they said, oh, there's protest yesterday. And then they showed a video of a protest. And this is the protest they showed a video of. This protest happened more than a month ago, the 17th of August. And this protest is, it's by conspiracy theorists. There you go, a number of conspiracy theories about the thing. And was a bit of a joke amongst people I know anyway. Here, the signs talk about, well, conspiracy, Bill Gates and mega corporations and things like that. And I thought, well, that's not what the protests are about. And that's completely wrong. You can see nobody's wearing, well, yeah, some people are wearing masks, but very few are wearing masks there. And it's sort of bad. I think it reflects very badly on the people of Madrid and Spain in general. What's happening? And just not accurate. I'll show you some pictures of the actual protests as they happened. Not on that one. Where's it gone? So there, for example, that was one protest not far from where I used to live, and you can see everybody's wearing masks. They're all behaving themselves, and there's no violence or anything like that. I haven't heard of any of that that stuff happening. And again, here you can see that it's a much bigger protest than whether you agree with it or not. Doesn't matter. It was a bigger protest than the one they showed in the video, and I just think it reflected very badly on people. In the last month, especially, since we were told to wear masks wherever we go, whatever we do, so even if you think you can keep distance, doesn't matter, you got to wear a mask. People have been doing so, and there's always people who don't. Whatever you do, there's going to be somebody who doesn't. But in general, yeah, people are doing quite well, I think. It hasn't had the desired effect. So now we've got this further lockdown in some parts of Madrid. But anyway, there you go. There's some pictures. And just to show you which parts of Madrid, if I first off zoom out, there is Spain. It sort of more or less fills the screen there. And in the center is the coloured bit. That is the province of Madrid. It's not just a city, it's a province. And if I zoom in a bit more, there's the province, and right in the middle, this little bit here, that bit, that's the city. Okay, I'll zoom out again. So it's the city is part of it. The bit that's been locked down or whatever, it's the darkest purple bits, and you can see it better here. Although maybe it's not very easy to see. If you don't know Madrid, it's difficult to see, I suppose. The population of these different bits that we're talking about here, like random, this one then is 20,656 people. I think this one is 25,000, 28,000. There are some small ones, 20,000, 27,000. I think it's also interesting just looking at that. Look, you've got this big area here, 25,000, and this little very tiny area there, 27,000, and that's where I think the problem lies. Is you've got a small area like that with 27,000 people in it. These areas are people who live there have less money. They're not poor. I mean, they've got enough money, but they're just not very when the economic situation is normal. But there are a lot of immigrants there. Not saying illegal immigrants. I'm not saying they shouldn't be there. I'm just saying that's where they tend to live because it's cheaper to live there. I used to live in one of those areas, and it's not I mean, I had enough money. It was just I just liked it there. They're not horrible places, and the people are nice. But they're saying they're being singled out because they are the poorer areas. But in fact, what I think it is, and a lot of people agree, it's the concentration of people. You get a lot of flats with more people sharing a flat. Like, sounds awful if I say two families, but let's say, you've got 4 or 5 adults in a flat instead of 2 adults and 2 children. And it's a bit like that. So it's more concentrated than the number of people. It's lots of flats anyway. That's Spain. So everywhere you go, people live in flats more than houses. I do. So that is where, and the actual rules, nobody has been told to stay home. Okay, that's not what's happening. Now let me see if I can find I think this page describes it quite well. Here we go. This is what is allowed, okay? Journeys within the area. Basically, then, if you want to go out, you can go out. There's no problem. Go out if you like. But you've got to stay in those areas if you live there. Anyone who leaves the area, you can for certain things. So, people who want to leave the little area they live in, you have to justify their trips. So, for work, for example. Other reasons are visits to healthcare or educational centres, to banks, and to the courts or a notary. Notary is a lawyer, solicitor, notaria. As well as the renewal of official documents, exams, the return to your usual place of residence, the care of seniors or dependents, or reasons of force. That's or other very important reason, which is at the discretion of a policeman who stops you and asks you to see a document. The police will be able to demand that citizens present documentation that attests to the reason for their movement. And it's like having a letter with your gas bill or something, that sort of thing, to say, look, I'm going there, and this is where I live. And somewhere you work, you have a pay slip. I don't know what you can have without going to work. And that's one of the problems, actually, is people are saying, well, there are a lot of people, it's described by some as being a problem in Spain, who work they call it black money. They work for cash. There's no contract. I'm officially an English teacher. I haven't worked for ages, but I am an English teacher, and there are a lot of English. So I know other English teachers, and a lot of them, they work for cash. So you'll go to somebody's house in the evening for an hour, teach. They give you 20 euros or whatever it might be, and you leave. But there's nothing written down. And there are a lot of people who work as cleaners, nannies, I don't know, but they're not necessarily, they don't have contracts. They just go to work, they give them cash. So they haven't got anything written down anyways to show the police. The people who are protesting are saying then that they are being discriminated against because they're poor. And in my opinion, no, it's not because they're poor. It's because where they live, there are lots of people squeezed in, high concentration of people, and it is the parts of Madrid which have the most infections. Just to edit this bit in, one thing I didn't mention is that this lockdown is for 14 days. And during those 14 days, the government have said they're going to test 1 million people. Now, 850,000 people have been locked down, and they're going to test 1 million, which I think is damn good. In general, I mean, it does look bad, by the way, and you hear all this on the news about how bad Spain is, and in these dark purple areas it is, but you can see there are a lot of places in the province that are not so bad. That's all for now. I'm off. I'm going to edit this and then start streaming. Goodbye.